So today I just want to talk, to rant, to vent. Disclaimer, this is mature content, so you might want to skip this video if you are not mature enough to handle some things, especially explicit content. So today as I was praying, I just had this overwhelming sense of gratitude to God for how far He has brought me on this journey as a widow. So there was a time when at the beginning of this journey, it just felt like, how do people even do this? How do you go on from everything you've been used to? You've been used to so much love and affection. You've been used to intimacy. How do you even cope outside of marriage, outside of that union of your husband and wife? And I remember just the desperate, frantical search for someone who has walked this path that I'm on and understands this pain and is able to offer some form of counsel, advice, anything. I was grasping for straws. I just needed someone who had gone this road and could help me with all that I was struggling with. Because how do you move from being intimate to being celibate, right? How do you go? And it was a struggle for me, to be honest. It was a real struggle for a couple of years. And I remember reaching out to some older widows and just asking them, in all honesty, how do you guys do it? And I kept getting the consistent answer: God will help you. Don't worry. God will help you. God will take care of you. God will see you through. God will sustain you. God will give you the grace. But that was not the answer that I was looking for. Like, in my mind, I wanted some, practical steps. This is how we did it. This is how it's done. This is how you overcome. Those kind of physical, active steps that one can take to be able to walk this path. But I didn't get any of that. And it was troubling, right, for a while. But little by little, I began to move from the place of trusting in my own strength, trusting in my own wisdom, trusting in my own abilities, to complete dependence on God. Because slowly but surely, I realized that, see, nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to help you. There is no quick fix. There's no formula to this. Only God can help you. And slowly but surely, I started to heal. I started to develop a confidence in God's ability to keep me, even when I didn't have probably the formulas that I think and all that. I started to get over all those feelings, right? And I remember many nights I would pray. I would say, God, see, I did not create myself. You see me? I didn't create myself. You created me. You are the one who put all these feelings inside of me. And I need you to fix it, to fix this. I feel like having sex. I feel like making out. I have 𝐭𝐚𝐥𝐤. So how do I handle it? And if you are not going to magically send another husband, another spouse that will fulfill these desires, then you better take it away. Just take it away and make me a female eunuch, because I can't. I prayed those prayers. There were nights when I would just toss and turn all by myself, and there were nights when, to be honest, I'll cry because it was so heavy. So the first few years were a real struggle, and so I can empathize when someone, a single mom, a single parent, someone who's lost a spouse, I can really empathize because I know what I've gone through, and I can understand what they are going through, how they're feeling, and all that. So anyways, I came on here because, first of all, I was just thankful to God that, hey, I realized that, come to think of it, it's been a while now and I've not had to deal with any of that. Is it by my strength? No. God has helped me. Indeed, He has. But it was not easy. It was not something that I had a magical formula to. It was not something that anybody came to help me with. But it was just by the mercy of God. And so eventually I realized that indeed those widows were right? They were actually right. God will help you. And He did, because I put my confidence and trust in Him to help me. Because I came to Him bare, in all honesty. And there are times when you are going on this journey. I'll give you a practical example of my own self. There was a time when it was after church, and um, it was, I think, a widows conference or something. But anyways, there was some kind of support that was going to be given to some of the widows. So um, that was a good thing for the widows. But someone came up to me after church and was like, how come we only focus on the widows? What about the widowers? What about the men? And I'm telling him, I hadn't met him before. That was the first time. Just walked up to me after church and was saying, why does the church just focus on the women, the widows? And I told him, look, every ministry, every person has their own call, who they've been called to. This ministry has this vision and this call to minister to widows, and that's okay. There may be other people who have been called to minister to widowers and to take care of them, and that's also fine. But it doesn't make it, wrong that they focused on widows, because it's biblical to take care of the widows and the orphans, to be intentional about them and meeting their needs. And so, of course, I thought it was a genuine conversation, and the person really wanted help or whatever. And so, in all honesty, he requested my contact. I gave it to him, and I noticed he followed up a couple of times. I always, give very official. Of course, I work in a church. Give official answers for every correspondence. Few calls, I would say. He would request probably, do you want to go out? Something. Where do you stay? All those things, and I'm like, nah. I kept, deflecting, because, of course, I'm not a baby, and I know where some conversations will head. So, of course, I didn't want any of that. And that kept up for maybe a week or two, a little while. And eventually, I think I stopped responding to the calls, and just gave very formal responses to the messages. And then he sent me a message one day, saying something along the lines of, what am I feeling like? That I need a man. Don't I know that I need a man that would, meet all this, meet every need, that even if I am helping myself and masturbating and all that, it cannot replace a man. And in fact, I'm, paraphrasing, because that message was really disgusting to me. And I was so upset. I was upset because, of course, it happened to me. That was upsetting. But I was also upset because it means that it happens to many other women that are widows. The assumption that if you are a widow, you are doing something. You're either sleeping around, masturbating, and all that, or else, you're not just being on your own. That was really sad. That and that's just one example of many other examples that I can give of the stereotypes that people on this journey go through. Just the insensitivity and the feeling that because you're a widow, you're somehow, either very cheap, or you have somebody that's servicing you that you're not coming out to talk about, and that is why you're okay. But to be honest, there are many genuine people out here that have none of that and have simply been helped by God. Just because in your perverted mind you do some things doesn't mean that everybody else is doing it. No. It brings me to the fact that people just need to be sensitive and be kind, and not make assumptions that just because there are few bad eggs, or there are very loose women out there, then it makes everybody else loose, cheap, and sinful. No, there are actually women out here that are the bride of Christ and have given themselves over to Jesus completely and are satisfied in Him. Yes, there is no high like the Most High, and there is also no satisfaction like the satisfaction that the Holy Spirit can bring. So don't stand out there and make assumptions that everybody is doing something wrong, is sleeping around, is masturbating, because they are a widow. And that also brings me to another generalization that many people make about women. The stereotype about women, that women are just so frivolous, money-minded, and that's all. Yes, many women need a man that can cater for and provide their needs. I dare say that we are wired to want to be taken care of. But that doesn't mean that without that support, we will not be fine. We'll be fine. We will be fine. There are many of us, children of God, that are doing just fine, that are willing to support their husbands through thick and thin, even when the husbands are willing to support their husbands through thick and thin, even when the husbands do not have the source of income that they used to have. They are women who will stand by their man. They are women who, like the penguins, are made for life. I think it's the penguins, forgotten the bird, the pelicans, they mate for life. They have just one mate. But yes, there are many out there. So just like it would be unfair to say that every single man out there is just looking to get into the pants of a woman. It will also be unfair to think that every woman out there is just looking out for her pockets and what she can get. So anyway, all my ranting today is just coming out to just vent and ask us to be a bit more kind and sensitive to people who are on this journey. You don't know anything about their struggles. The least you can do is be a bit more empathetic. Until you have walked the shoes of someone who is going through a path that you don't know about, you need to be sensitive. You need to calm down and cut that person some slack and be nice. It doesn't cost anything to be nice. I'm going to slot this in. It was not in the initial video that I created, but I just remembered that I need to add this, that you need to also keep yourself occupied with things that are purposeful. Because the moment you are idle, you have nothing doing, you're on your own, you have time and you have opportunities for all those things that will come in and bring idle mind. They say is the devil's workshop. So someone who is idle, whether in mind or in body, another opportunity for the enemy to infiltrate and just put those longings. And then also watching the kind of feed, like stay away from things that will stir up those desires. Stay away from things that are explicit, things that would make you feel like you're missing out on something. So for me, another thing that has helped me is I am occupied. I have so much to do. I have, my dad will say we all have 24 hours, but sometimes I feel like 24 hours is not enough. I'm that busy. Like I don't have spare time. I barely have time to get everything I need to get done. And so the little time I have, I need to catch up with friends and family. I need to build my relationships with my loved ones that maybe are not nearby and all that. So the idle time when you would stay and, be watching some kind of movies that would make you start feeling congee, I don't have that time. I don't know when last I've, sat down to watch a movie, because there is no time. There's so much to do. There's so much work to be done. There are souls that are dying, man, and we need to save them. There is so much. I'm busy raising my children, growing my business, working in ministry. I do not have free time for that. That is also something that can help you. If you're struggling, you probably need to be more involved in church. You probably need to be more busy. You probably, busyness, of course. You also have to balance that, because you don't want to just be busy and not spending time with God. But by the time you give quality time to your personal devotion, your personal study of the Word of God, your personal prayer, you want to build yourself in the things of God, you will not have so much spare time to be dwelling on some longing and some desires. And always jump and pass. So even when you're keeping yourself away from some things, you'll be scrolling social media and you'll see some things. Quickly jump and pass. Flee any appearance. Flee it. Yes, there's sometimes you can't help it, but you cannot stop the bird from flying over your head, but you can stop it from coming to build its nest on your head. So yes, flee.